Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. I'm Gold Derby editor Daniel Montgomery here with our contributors Jeffrey Kare and Cordell Martin. Talk about Halloween night on Dancing with the Stars. It was a night of 1,000 costumes and makeup and hairstyles and various themes. Two dances in the night. You had the individual dance round and then the team dances, which was a little unusual because there was an odd number of couples left. So you had one team with 4 couples and one team with 5 couples, which ended up being kind of interesting. Um, let's start with those team dances because they really kind of shook everything up. The leaderboard completely went haywire after that because there was a 6 point differential
Mm.
between team Wicked, which was the lower scoring team, which had 5 members on it, and Team Scream, which had an almost perfect score and had some of the high scoring contestants of the season on it. I don't think the two teams were as far apart as their scores were, honestly. Um, and it certainly wasn't worth kind of demolishing a lot of the forward progress some of those couples had made. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I just thought it was a little off. I'm used to seeing the even number of contestants when it is time for the team dance. That kind of threw me off. Also, the fact that they didn't change into costume, I think also kind of, lost that sense of like the team aspect when it came to the team dances. Um, Overall, I mean, just looking at how the teams were separated, I'm not surprised by how the scores turned out. I do feel bad for Jordin because she kind of got hosed, especially with that team dance. Um, yeah, so I'm not surprised by the scores and the overall routines.
What did you think of the team dances, Jeffrey?
Well, I do echo a lot of what Cordell just said, but individually, I thought Team Wicked did amazingly energetic work, while Team Scream did incredible work. But yeah, I do agree with you, Daniel, that yeah, I didn't think the scores deserved to be as far apart as they end up being, but well, that's just the way the show goes, I guess. And yeah, and also to add how detrimental this was to Jordin Sparks this past week, well, it well also applies the fact that, she and Brandon were eliminated.
Yeah, Jordan, and this was interesting. The bottom 4 teams on the judges' leaderboard were from Team Wicked, the team that lost, partly because of those low scores for the team dance. And Jordan went from sort of middle of the pack to second to last on the leaderboard, and last place on the leaderboard was Vinny Guadagnino. So we knew that he was going to be safe and that she was going to be in trouble. She was in the bottom 2 with Heidi D'Amelio. Uh, I'm a little bit surprised that Heidi survived. I thought if Heidi was going to be in the bottom with someone, like they would have saved her over Trevor, over Vinny. But Jordan's been doing fairly well this season, and she had sort of, Len Goodman called her Tango, her best dance of the season. And yet she was eliminated including by Len. His vote was the deciding one. What did you think about that elimination, Cordell? Were you surprised at all that the judges saved Heidi instead of Jordan?
I'm not surprised based on who voted for Heidi. A little disappointed because Heidi, that was her second appearance in the bottom 2. So more than likely she's going to show up again in the near future, if not next week. I felt that, Jordan was one of those contestants that we saw her improvement week after week. And I felt that, she deserved a second chance. I mean, if they gave Trevor, multiple chances to come back and dance, and Heidi, I felt that Jordan was, that she deserved that opportunity as well.
Yeah, what did you think about that, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, it was disappointing because, Jordan and Brandon both did very creative work this past week. But yeah, given how competitive I guess everyone is raised up to, even Vinny, who, well, it's slowly edging out of the not bad range,
Mm.
and plus his obviously fan base has been helping him keep on the show longer than he should be. But yeah, it's just not too surprising that Jordan would be leaving, he voted off prematurely. And, plus, as for Heidi and Artem, well, I mean, yeah, if they're in the bottom two again next week, if we could be going back to you're in the bottom 2 weeks in a row, you're going home the second week. Well, I can definitely see that happening, which hopefully not, because the two of them have been doing very good work, especially with all of the imaginative and energy they brought in their performance.
And moving to the top of the leaderboard, one thing, even if you would have predicted that the judges would give Trevor a bit of help to stay out of the bottom again after saving him a couple times, would you have guessed that he would be tied for the top of the leaderboard with Charlie D'Amelio, and arguably deserve it? Because I actually do think, like, I don't know if I would have given his contemporary dance 10s, but at least 9s I would have given it. What did you think about that, Cordell?
Yeah, super shocked. When he first started, I was like, okay, he's just gonna be one of the middle of the road contestants that'll be gone by like week 5 or 6. But to see his journey, that's the beauty of Dancing with the Stars, is when you get to see those people who don't have dance experience and see them come into their own. So to see him, bounce back from being in the bottom two a couple of times and to deliver the spectacular routine. Yeah, he's kind of like that underdog that you root for. So if he's able to keep that momentum, he might be a surprise in terms of making it to the semis and possibly the finals.
What did you think about how well Trevor did, Jeffrey?
I mean, yeah, he and Emma both did breathtakingly stunning work in their routine this past week. And yeah, he's probably becoming really the underdog this season, or how he started out to how he's improving. And I'm very interested in seeing how much better he could possibly get, next week alone and possibly the rest of the season.
Another one who was near the top of the leaderboard, at the very top before the team dances, which I was, again, like Jordin was thrown under the bus a little bit. Shangela was also kind of thrown under the bus because Shangela got a perfect score, 40 out of 40, beat Charlie on the individual dance, and only fell down to 4th place as a result of the team dances. So, Shangela showed that, she's got the technical skill to really stand up with Charlie and Wayne and Gabby Wendy. What did you think about that performance, Cordell? And where do you think she stands now in terms of potentially going to the finals or potentially even winning? You never know.
Yeah, I think Sangela's in a great spot right now. For her, once again, she was one of those contestants that didn't come out the gate perfect, like your Gabby's, Wayne's, and Charlie's. I think she's kind of hitting her stride now, and I think she's getting a lot of those fun, energetic dances that's really going to help her in terms of her personality. But then also her personality is one of the few that shines out of this cast, and that speaks volumes in terms of just getting those voters' attention and making them rally behind you and vote for you. So as long as the judges don't do any funny business, I could definitely see her being a dark horse, at least to make it to the finals. I'm hoping so, because I always look forward each week to see what tricks her and Gleb are gonna bring to the dance floor.
What did you think about Shangela, Jeffrey?
Well, I thought their performance was very inventively put together, and I guess Shangela being the, I guess, creative performer that she is, I guess she should probably come up with a few trick or two, whatever her next routine she has. But yeah, I think she's also one to watch throughout, so we'll see.
And speaking of next week's routines, I've sent you guys the list of dances for the first round, and then the relay dances that will decide bonus points, which will be interesting in both rounds. We've got some sambas. So I will go through the list of, start with the individual dances. Now we've got Wayne Brady dancing a salsa to Motown Philly by Boyz II Men. This is 90s night, I should say. So these will be 90s themed songs and performances. And looking at your face, Cordell, yes, that is a weird song to dance a salsa to. Then Charlie D'Amelio is dancing a tango to Song 2 by Blur. Heidi D'Amelio is dancing contemporary, so they're really helping Heidi out, trying to keep her out of that bottom. She's dancing a contemporary to Ironic by Alanis Morissette. I do not know what a contemporary to Ironic by Alanis Morissette will look like. That will be interesting. Speaking of strange salsa choices, Trevor Donovan will be dancing a salsa to Barbie Girl by Aqua.
Wow.
That's not a salsa song by any stretch of the imagination. We've got Spice Up Your Life coming up, and that's a better salsa song than any of these. Then you've got Daniel Durant, who's getting a jazz dance to Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode.
Okay.
Vinny Guadagnino is dancing a tango to What Is Love by Hathaway, and he's already safe. Because 100% they're doing Night at the Roxbury. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're just going to let his personality drive that dance. It's not, it'll be fine, but like it won't be the dancing that keeps him in the competition, probably. And then two sambas, Shangela. Oh, giving Shangela a samba. To Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls, which is a better samba song than some of these songs are salsa songs. And then Gabby has got a samba to Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. Again, a better samba song than either of the salsa songs were to that dance style. What are you thinking about that list, Cordell, of those in some cases strange dance combinations?
This is going to be very interesting. Just looking at the dance styles and the song choices, I think Shangela, Gabby, and Charlie, if you're making your predictions on Go Derby, definitely put them at the top of the leaderboard. I can definitely see Heidi getting a perfect score. I feel like they're going to pad her scores to keep her, but she'll still be in the bottom two. Trevor is going to be very interesting. I can low key see him, embracing the role of Ken for that song. And then I don't know, Wayne doing the salsa to Motown Philly by Boyz II Men. I don't know. I mean, I think the judges will just give him great scores because they like him, but I just don't see it being like a perfect score, but I could be wrong. Daniel's performance is going to be very interesting. I think this could be a top score for him. And Vinny, I mean, to your point, he's just going to embrace the character. Scores don't matter at this point for him. So congrats to making it past the double elimination, Vinny.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, it should be interesting to see who could potentially prevent Vinny from, making it the bottom three, or I guess if he makes the bottom three, if he'll survive double elimination. But as for the routines, well, there's a lot of interesting song choices here. It should hopefully serve some, energetic dance performances. and Wayne Brady dancing to Boys to Men. Well, I guess that could be a match, and and as what you alluded to earlier, yeah, I'm not sure how contemporary to an Alanis Morissette song is gonna fare, but hey, would be surprised. We'll see. And yeah, yeah, and "Livin' La Vida Loca" definitely seems like a perfect samba.
Yeah, if they were gonna do an Alanis contemporary, I almost wanted them to just go full on, just give them "You Oughta Know."
Oh
You
yeah.
know, that's not a great contemporary song either, but it would be more fun to see them try and work it into a contemporary than ironic, which I don't know. It's not the emotional kind of song that you want for a contemporary to really make it soar and really get those high scores. We'll see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Um, then we've got the relay dances, where there will be 4 relay dances where couples will go head to head. Shangela and Daniel will go head to head on the Cha Cha to Ice Ice Baby, performed live by former Dancing with the Stars contestant Vanilla Ice. Um, Vinny and Trevor will dance against each other to a samba to My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It, performed live by En Vogue. Heidi and Wayne Brady will perform sambas to Shoop, performed live by Salt and Peppa. And Charlie D'Amelio will perform a salsa against Gabby to Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, performed live by Kid and Play. Cordell, what do you think about those relays, and who do you think would you put out front for those?
Well, first off, I'm loving all the 90s nostalgia. So the fact they have In Vogue and Salt and Pepper and Kid and Play, super excited about that. Can guarantee we'll probably see, a few of them in future seasons of Dancing with the Stars. In terms of the relays, I think that they're evenly matched for the most part. Um, I think between Daniel and Sangela, I think Sangela will probably have the upper hand of the two. Trevor and Vinny, obviously Trevor, unless the judges are just being super nice to Vinny. Samba, on paper, I would say Wayne, but knowing the judges, I feel like they're going to overscore Heidi and keep her safe by any means necessary. Salsa is going to be very interesting to see. Um, I'll probably give the edge to whoever out of the two doesn't get a perfect score. So I think whoever doesn't get a perfect score, they're probably going to reward them with the win in the relay.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I think there's definitely some interesting song choices there, and I agree with what Cordell said, and all the relays pairs being evenly matched, and I do agree with him that I can see Shangela winning out over Daniel. I can see Trevor winning out over Vinny, unless there's a fluke. I can see Wayne winning over Heidi, unless the judges really want to save her. But as for Charlie versus Gabby, well, I think I can see it being a little more likely that Charlie could edge out Gabby, but Gabby edging out Charlie wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, this hopefully should be a fun night.
Mhm.
Yeah, I sort of agree. The first 2 matchups feel like I'm pretty sure they're going to go Shangela and Trevor. And then the next 2 matchups, I feel like they're closer in terms of who the judges will want to see get that boost on the leaderboard, depending on how their initial dance goes. Like, unless Heidi falls down or something like that, and they need to kind of give it to Wayne, or else it looks ridiculous. I can see them giving it to Heidi because they're going to need to work hard to keep her out of the bottom 2. She could get the highest score on the judges leaderboard and end up in the bottom 3 for the double elimination, potentially. So they're going to really need to work hard for her if they want to pad her score that much. And then Charlie and Gabby, yeah, that could go either way. They've shown that they're going to be harder on Charlie because she's kind of already perfect. Gabby also has sort of that issue, but not quite as, she, like, the judges haven't really dinged her on, being a professional cheerleader as much as Charlie, who was a competitive dancer for like most of her life. So I do think that'll be interesting. You mentioned the nostalgia factor, Cordell, that you're really looking forward to. Anything else that you're excited about, or that you wish you would see, or songs that you kind of wish they would have picked?
I mean, they have a very eclectic group of songs, so we'll see how that all turns out. I'm just curious about this double elimination. I mean, whew, um, I could definitely see Trevor Heidi in the bottom two just because they've been in the bottom two before. But it's trying to figure out, do both of them make it in the bottom three, and then who's the other person, or will it be one of them? So I'm really curious to see, because now we're at the crunch time, and as we get closer to the finale, it's just wise to pay attention to those couples that haven't been in the bottom two, because more than likely that's going to be your winner. So to see who survives this bottom two will kind of help me narrow down as to who I think will win the Mirrorball Trophy.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to, Jeffrey?
Well, it should definitely be interesting to see which, couple that's been doing great work will become a surprisingly, premature elimination, depending on how, the double elimination goes next week. Because man, they're really getting down to the wire here with all the great work from everyone, well, almost everyone. And I'm also very excited to see how everyone's gonna put their skills to the test on 90s hits.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this double elimination to see how intensely they're gonna try and put Vinny in that bottom three. Because he's gonna almost certainly get the lowest score on the judges leaderboard. They're rooting for him on the one hand, like, oh, you're trying so hard, and I appreciate that he's actually, he's not like grocery store Joe. It feels like
Oh,
Vinny is actually putting in his all and really
yeah.
going for it. But at this stage of the game, so is everybody, and he doesn't. I don't think he should stick around longer than Jordin, longer than Heidi, other celebs who are genuinely trying their best as well. But yeah, I don't think however far they put him down, I don't think it's gonna work. So that'll be interesting to see. I want to thank you, Jeffrey and Cordell, for joining me yet again. And thanks to everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you next week.